The 49ers are ready to throw down a massive transfer budget. Spanish giants are plotting to snatch away one of our brightest stars. Nico Raskin's pushing for a starting place with Belgium after a stunning run of form. And Vaclav Cerny, he's at the center of a storm that's got the whole of Scottish football talking. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Right then, you better sit down for this one, because things at Ibrox are bubbling away behind the scenes, and it's not just the fallout from that glorious 3-2 scalping of Celtic last weekend that's got folk talking. Word coming out now is that the proposed Rangers takeover by Leeds United chairman Parag Marathi and his 49ers Enterprises consortium is gathering pace, and there's a juicy wee nugget about the first transfer budget. According to Football Insider, the incoming owners are planning to hand the next Rangers boss a war chest between 25 million and 30 million pounds to spend. You heard right. Real cash, none of your budget bin rebuilds. That sort of backing could transform the squad from top to bottom, provided it's spent wisely and not blown on another Joey Barton-type experiment. The timing couldn't be better, with the league run-in heating up and Dundee away looming on March 29th. Barry Ferguson's still at the helm for now, and with that Old Firm win and his Europa League record, there's growing chat he might just keep the gig permanently. Now, imagine Barry leading the rebuild with that kind of budget. You'd fancy your chances, wouldn't you? But there's always a but with Rangers. Some pundits are trying to pour cold water on the mood. Over at PLZ Soccer, there's been chatter about whether the recent banner incident involving the Union Bears might spook the Americans. Gordon Parks and the rest of the panel are raising concerns that the so-called baggage at the club could make the investors think twice. Hugh McDonald reckons the 49ers are operating at such a global business level they won't tolerate anything that tarnishes the brand. The line from Peter Martin was all business. If issues arise, they'll deal with them, but make no mistake, they're here for profit, prestige, and performance. Now, here's where it gets spicy for you. If these American investors are really that rattled by the Union Bears banner, do you actually want them anywhere near Ibrox? Or are we about to sell our soul for £30 million and a shiny ER image? Right, let's get into this one, because it's the kind of story that puts you right on the edge of your seat with pride and just a touch of paranoia. Fresh off knocking Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce out of Europe, that Mourinho, Rangers are now set to face Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League quarter-finals, a tie soaked in history, emotion, and ambition. Their manager, Ernesto Valverde, once dreamed of playing at Ibrox. Now at 61, he finally gets to step into our cathedral. But this time, he's in the away dugout, and we'll make sure it's a night he remembers for all the wrong reasons. But while the headlines should be about that famous win and the road to Dublin, eyes across Europe are quietly turning to one of Rangers' most intriguing young talents, Hamza Igamane, the Moroccan striker, still raw, still learning, but already capable of moments of magic, like that thunderbolt past Kasper Schmeichel in the Old Firm win. A goal that silenced Parkhead and made folk take notice. And now, Spanish giants, Sevilla sniffing around. La Liga expert Terry Gibson reckons they're crying out for a striker, and with their top forward managing just 3 goals in 23 starts, you can see why they'd fancy someone like Igamane. Marseille are circling too. Even Spurs, Newcastle, and Villa have had his name on their notepads, but here's where it gets tricky. Scott Arfield, a man who knows what it takes to succeed at Ibrox, says Igamane's got talent, but he's not Morelos yet. He might have the touch, the strength, even the swagger, but he's still a work in progress. And in Glasgow, you're only ever one game away from being called a hero or a dud. So here's the real question for you. If Sevilla come calling and slap down, say, £25 million for Igamane, should Rangers take the money and run? Or do you keep him, back him, and risk missing out on the biggest payday we've had since Bassi? Here we go again, another Rangers player showing exactly why the rest of Europe needs to sit up and take notice. Nico Raskin, the heartbeat of that Rangers midfield, finally got the recognition he deserves with his senior debut for Belgium against Ukraine. After months of doing the dirty work in the engine room, carrying the fight in Europe and bossing the midfield in that 3-2 Old Firm win over Celtic, it was only a matter of time before the Belgians came calling. And now, Belgian boss Rudi Garcia's hinting that Raskin could be fast-tracked straight into the starting 11 for their Nations League second leg against Greece. Why? Because he's relentless. Garcia even admitted it. Raskin had just run himself into the ground with 120 minutes against Fenerbahce and another lung-busting shift against Celtic, but still had enough in the tank to come off the bench and make an impact for Belgium. That's not just fitness, that's Rangers mentality. It's clear that Barry Ferguson's influence is rubbing off on him too. Since Barry took the reins, Raskin's looked sharper, more confident, and far more involved. He's not just playing well, he's dictating matches. Garcia knows it too. With Yuri Tielemans suspended, the Belgian gaffers now got a decision to make, and you wouldn't bet against Raskin getting the nod over Club Brugge's Hans Vanaken. Now, here's the talking point that could stir the pot. If Raskin becomes a Belgium regular off the back of his Rangers form, how long do you really think we can keep him at Ibrox, or worse? If a Premier League club offers big money, should the board cash in, or do you tell them where to go and build the team around him? Now, this one's going to split the room right down the middle, and maybe that's exactly why it's become such a legendary moment already. Vaclav Cerny, on loan from Wolfsburg, mind you, has only gone and written himself into Rangers folklore with a single swing of a water bottle. You know the one. Celtic Park, March 16th. The crowd already seething after Igamane's last gasp winner. And Cerny, calm as you like, responds to missiles from the stands with a cheeky wee squirt of water right back at them. Cue chaos, cue cult hero status. Now the SFA's sniffing around and Matthew Lindsay's out here saying Cerny was way out of line and that a ban is on the cards. Look, was it professional? Maybe not. Was it calculated? Doubtful. But was it a moment that captured the essence of a rivalry soaked in pure emotion? Absolutely. Let's not forget, Cerny's not just a wind-up merchant. He's backing it up with numbers. 17 goals, 7 assists, and some of the biggest moments of our season, Fenerbahce in Europe. Cerny's fingerprints were all over that domestic dominance. He's been central to it. And when his shirt's already going for over £24,000, more than 23 grand higher than most others, it tells you everything about how he's viewed at Ibrox. That was more than just banter. That was a statement. That was someone who gets it. Now here's the question that'll really set tongues wagging. Should Rangers go all out to sign Cerny permanently, even if it means pushing past our traditional wage structure? Or is he the kind of player who burns bright, causes a storm, then disappears before the dust settles? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.